I didn't get my Crustless Chicken Pot Pie made yesterday, so I'm making it tonight for their supper. Now, I do not have a written recipe for this. I just put stuff together, and they like it. I'm going to bake some biscuits. I've got some frozen ones in there I'm going to use tonight, and they like for me to put that on their plates, tear the biscuits open, and then they pile this on there. I just call it crustless pot pie, chicken pot pie, because I don't use a crust on it. So that's just what I call it. You may make it and call it something different, and you know what? That's fine. Whatever you want to call it. But I know my family loves it, and it is cold here in Kentucky. It is in the lower 30s, and I've got on my big old sweater I wear around the house. But I'm not going to be able to give you exact measurements. You're just going to have to experiment with it yourself. But I did cut up some chicken that I had boiled. I don't know how much this is. I'm just going to put it in here. I'm going to get this turned down so y'all can see it. And I'll just show you what I do. It's a good hearty meal. I know that. Now I start off, I didn't get my homemade chicken broth out of the freezer, so I'm just going to use some of this. If you got low sodium, you can use that, or just whatever you got. This is just one of those things that I put together one day, and the family liked it, so I guess that's a good thing. Anytime you can fix something and they like it, that's a win. And I'm going to let this heat up a little bit, and I'll be back. Now this is coming to a boil, and I'm going to take some heavy whipping cream, and I'm going to just pour this in here. I don't know how much. Stir this up, and I tell y'all what, this is an old spoon. I don't know how many years I've had this old wooden spoon, but it's always my favorite. It's been burnt some and everything else, but it's still my favorite. Okay. Now I'm going to take, and I know a lot of y'all hate to see this, but I'm taking a can of cream of chicken soup and putting in here. This is really easy to make, and my family absolutely loves it. They love it. So, as long as they like it, then that's all that matters to me. Now, Eric, he'll eat biscuits with butter or with jelly on them, but he ain't going to want to eat them and put this on top of them. He doesn't like it like that, but everybody else does, so. Now we're going to give this a mix. Get that stirred all up in there. This is good on a cold night, I can tell y'all that. I'm not going to add any salt because we've got salt in the chicken broth and we've got salt in that soup. So I'm not adding any more. If anybody wants it, then they can put it on their food. I am going to take pepper though and go in with it. Go ahead and add it to this. And I'm going to take some frozen vegetables, and I'm going to be putting those in, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my frozen vegetables added in. And what I'm going to do After it comes to another little boil, I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to turn it down on the simmer and let it thicken up. And then I'll get the biscuits made a little bit later, and this will be ready for them to put over their biscuits. It's a very, very easy supper to make. And I believe your family would enjoy it. It's not hard to make. Like I said, I don't have a written recipe, and I don't measure the ingredients for it. I have some things I make that's like that. And if you make it a different way, if you want to put the crust and stuff on there, then it's good that way too. However you want to do it. You make it your way. If you want to experiment with it, experiment with it. It's all good, as long as your family likes it. And that's who I cook to please. So, I may show y'all the finished stuff after a while. We'll see. I've been wrapping presents today. Ugh. But hope y'all have had a blessed day. Remember, it's going to be okay, and I love y'all. Now, I did end up mixing a little bit of water with some flour to thicken this up, the broth on it, but it's coming along really good. I've got the biscuits in the oven. Okay, I got this ready. Got my biscuits. There it is, supper.